No, he did. They confiscated it in Mexico.
Yeah.
Now, whether it was because he'd never declared, he was just on a flyer, he was just on a stopover in Mexico.
I quite frankly think, Robbie, that essentially they were stolen.
Oh, well, sure.
And he can get them back, because in Mexico you can take in anything you want.
Yeah, but I think more than likely what he never did was he never declared them. And therefore...
Well, I don't even know what paperwork Mexico needs if you fly into it, so maybe they do have the same sort of form that the United States government has that says, do you have more than $10,000 in cash and negotiable instruments? And maybe he didn't fill that out. I don't know.
Because gold is classified by the U.S. Treasury as cash. The only thing that...
Well, you wouldn't think so, because I know people are going in and out of the United States all the time with 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 coins, and nobody bothers them.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate your call, Scott. Let me see. Is my list updated here? Renee in North Carolina. Hello, Renee.
Yes. I'm calling in about the oil spill.
No, thanks. We already had one.
No. Particularly people from South Louisiana, listen up and maybe grab a pen, because this information is not getting out enough. I never thought I'd have something nice to say about an attorney, but his name is Mike Papantonio, and he is revealing that there was another enormous oil spill in the 1990s in Saudi Arabia's Gulf. And when you think about it, we can go to Mars. Like, have these people ever heard of a wet vac? Okay, and it's true. This was done before a huge oil spill was vacuumed up. The oil recovered, they estimate 85% in the 1990s. Now, he also revealed this. The reason that BP is not doing this, it's all about money. They're letting the wetlands be destroyed and people's lives. Apparently, he said BP has 24 full tankers parked, around the world, full of oil. Okay, so their tankers are full, and they're parked around the world waiting for the price of oil to go up before they want to sell them and unload them. And so it's more profitable for them to do this, is what I got from him, what I understand. And I'm thinking also probably, too, the way they do all those futures and shorts and longs. I think it's also tied in probably where they're maybe locked in, I don't know, with some sort of agreements. That stuff gets really technical where, I don't know if they can't sell it now or, because of some kind of agreement or what. But in other words, this situation has been fixed before and can be done again. They keep trying to say, we don't have the technology. Go in your garage and look at your wet vac, okay? And all they have to do is that on a huge scale, and from what I understand, they even have the technology now to centrifuge it and separate the water from the oil. Now, why the hell isn't this being done? And what really amazes me is because I'm from South Louisiana, and I have been on many a plane on business between South Louisiana and Dallas with many a men flying to catch their connections, to fly overseas to work in places like Saudi Arabia, and this was in the 1990s. How many of those men in Louisiana probably even worked to help to clean up that oil spill in Saudi Arabia?
Well, hold on, Renee. Spin down here for a second, because I don't know your analogy here with a wet vac. Was it the same type of spill? Was it as deep?
Well, the thing is, like I say, I don't know how deep, but wait, they have, just like people don't realize, do you know, I even heard today, that stuff they shoveling up full of sand on the beach? They're not throwing that away, no. They have the technology. They're going to be separating the oil from that sand. Now, if you can separate it from that mess, you probably surely can get it from the water. But the thing is, you can stick vacuums down into those oil plumes that they have and suck it up into tankers they say this worked in the 1990s.
But wait, I heard that BP doesn't have any room on their tankers because they're filled up and they're waiting for the market to go up to sell them.
That's what this guy, Mike Papantonio, says. Apparently, he is friends with Bobby Kennedy. I think they maybe do that Ring of Fire radio show together on Saturdays. And I've heard some mention now today. I first heard about this yesterday, and then, but it's not really being talked about much. Dylan Radigan did also kind of mention it on his show today. The thing is, why isn't this being talked about a lot? They could save those marshes. I don't know how, Renee. I've heard a lot of people saying that, they can do this and they can do that. There's a lot of people looking at this, and they haven't come up with an answer yet. And I'm not talking about... Google secret Saudi oil spill. You'll see where a guy wrote about this. All right. You have our audience at a disadvantage. Nobody has seen this. But I will look into it. Secret Saudi oil spill, and they can read where one guy has been trying to get in touch with BP about this. All right. I will do it. Thank you, Renee. Appreciate your call. Larry in Texas. Hello, Larry.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Hey, I just had a census lady come to the door.
And you let her walk away?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bless you.
She said, I just told her, I said, my name and address. That's all you want to give? And I said, that's right, according to the Constitution.
And she said what to you?
And she says, well, that's your privilege. And she says, I said, well... She said, I'm so fed up with this stuff, but I'm just doing this because I got to have a job. And I hate it because I have a lot of people. And we got to talking a little bit, and I was telling her about your show, and I just had turned it on. I was at the computer this evening. I had a little time, because I usually listen to archives. So I got on the TV, on the computer, and I said, you ought to see this. And I said, oh, just a minute, republicbroadcasting.org. I listened to that. Then I mentioned something, and she says, oh, no, I listened to another program. I said, well, you need to listen to this one. I got about 20 of your cards, and I give them to her. And I said, every time you run a good patriot, give him one of these cards.
That'll be your insurance policy that you walk off of the property unscathed.
Yeah. So she said, I'll do that. She said, spend about 30 minutes here with me.
Well, good.
So I got your cards going.
All right. Well, Larry, I appreciate that.
I'm the guy anyway that helped you make them cards. That's my son-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So your wife knows me.
Okay, good deal. Hey, I appreciate it, Larry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey,
keep up the good work.
We will do it.
Watch it all, listen to it all the time.
Okay. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to have to enlist some people down in Austin, Texas here in near future. We'll have our guy the bumper sticker guy that makes our bumper stickers. Oh, what a name for a company, bumper sticker guy. Anyhow, to print up some signs for the new radio station there in Austin, because we want a lot of people listening to it in short order. Back to my list here. Let me see. Number 16, both Fannie and Freddie Mac recently told the U.S. government that they're going to need even more bailout money. So what does it say when the U.S. economy, when the two pillars of the U.S. mortgage industry are government-backed financial black holes that the U.S. government has to relentlessly pour money into? 17, 43% of Americans have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Tens of millions of Americans find themselves just one lawsuit or one really bad traffic accident or one very serious illness away from financial ruin. With so many Americans living on the edge, how can you say that the economy is healthy? Well, you don't have to say it. You can go on the Obamacare. Number 18, the mayor of Detroit says the real unemployment rate in the city is somewhere around 50%. So can the U.S. really be experiencing an economic recovery when so many still unemployed in one of America's biggest cities? Well, not biggest anymore. Last they heard up there on the tax rolls, 850,000 and dropping. 19, Gallup's measure for unemployment hit 20% on March 15th. This was up from 19.7% 2 weeks earlier and 19.5% at the start of the year. Do you think that's a good trend or a bad trend? Number 20, one new poll shows that 76% of Americans believe the U.S. economy is still in recession. It's in depression. Recession would be a step up. So are the vast majority of Americans just stupid, or could we still actually be in a recession? No, they're watching the financial news programs and listening to U.S. news outlets. That's why they're stupid. Number 21, the bottom 40% of those living in the United States now collectively own less than 1%. You getting the ratios here? 40% of Americans living in the United States now collectively own less than 1% of the nation's wealth. So is Barack Obama's mantra, what is good for Wall Street is good for Main Street, actually true? You figure it out. Richard Russell, the famous author of the Dow Theory Letters, says the Americans should sell anything they can sell in order to get liquid because of the economic trouble that's coming. Do you think Richard Russell is delusional, or could he possibly have a point?